Hi everyone, my name's Dee and I am the course leader for BA Photography and Creative Industries, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to this new and exciting course. We're currently in our second year, and what I'll be doing is giving you an overview of the course, as well as some description of what you'll be studying if you do the 3 years of the course. So BA Photography and Creative Industries is really a course for a new generation of creative and image maker. And I say that rather than photographer, because you may be interested in more than just photography. You might be interested in still images, but you might also be interested in videography, graphic design, motion graphics, and really how personal stories that you're able to tell intersects with worlds of advertising and branded content. One of the great things about this course is that it was designed in partnership with industry experts, and there were lots of conversation about what we wanted to see from photography students today. The three key things were innovation, collaboration, and change. As well as that, though, disruption. How could we focus on the ideas that a younger generation of photographic artists, creative, as well as image maker, would like to tell about the world that they live in? And how can they bring those interesting stories around changes in representation and youth culture into modern forms of branded content? One of the things as well that came out of the conversations and the design was how can we make a course that was very practical? So a course that would give you practical skills and teach in a way that would stimulate the kind of thing that you would be doing out in industry, working on set, working with different types of partners, collaborating with creative teams and so on. Our students are definitely interested in different areas like fashion, music, dance, editorial, portraiture, live events, advertising, and more. And this is because they won't want to just be defined as singular photographers, but be defined as creatives who can branch off into different types of areas and be open to a job market that not only includes the idea of being behind the camera, but working around the whole industry of photography. It may be in production, it may be in assisting, it may be in developing retouching skills, the whole gamut of what is possible when it comes to being not just a photographer, but a creative also. One of the great things for us is that by the end of the first year alone, we've had students who have gone on to produce and find their own partnerships. Examples here are by Valerie, who produced an EP cover for a music artist, Dylan, by Claire, who produced some campaign images for a brand called One Rose Black, and even more recently, Marcus, who produced a piece of music press imagery for an artist called Tata Cheng. And that comes from the partnerships that have already been established into the course. So the course team that I work with are all people who work deep within the industry and are able to offer some of their own networks to our students. This is an example of Josie working with Gully South Block, a group who are associated with Sadler Wells, and worked with them to create campaign imagery for them. Due to the fantastic facilities, as well as access to resources, kit, software, and so on, our students are already pushing boundaries and working outside of just simple ideas around photography. Here you're seeing an example of a student working with AI to build a concept that would exist outside of what would normally be possible to create new realities. Those are the things that I think are quite exciting about the course. And that's not just an idea shared by me, but one shared by my entire course team. I share the course, the teaching of it, with a range of other fantastic practitioners. This includes the likes of Katja Meyer, who's an amazing fashion photographer and retoucher who works for the likes of Burberry. Ansel Nichols, who is from an advertising background and skilled in graphic design and copywriting. And his role is to really help you think about the messaging behind your work and how you package those visual images for a different consumer audience. Naz Abraham, who's an amazing artist and works not just in photography, but also in AI, in CGI, in building different types of graphic assets that go with photographic imagery. And he's done so for the likes of ASOS and other brands. Adrian Wood, who's pictured on the left-hand side here and can be seen working with one of our students at a collaboration that we created at a place called Kingswood House, where we give students an opportunity to work inside of a mansion based in South London to produce editorial projects. And this way of working has had feedback from our students telling us that they love the course because it offers something different to traditional education. And that in some ways, it feels more like work experience. So learning very practically how to work on industry campaign briefs. And that's a regular thing that happens with the course. Every module or every block, you'll be set some kind of brief that is aligned with the kind of ways of working that you'll be working outside in industry. And to support you through that process, we bring in a wide range of practitioners, some who are photographic artists, some who are writers, some who are curators. You'll be working with a wide range of different talents in order to build your own skills. The likes of DJ Martha Paziente Caden, who's a Radio 1 DJ, comes in to help our students really think about the research process. So researching ideas, Martha's amazing at researching for interviews with artists. And those are skills that our students can take forward for their own kinds of interviews, interviewing talent, building relationships with modern agencies and so on, finding that confidence to use their inner voice. Ashley Kane, who's an editor at Days, comes in to teach our students about writing skills and the different types of writing skills that are available to them, from creative writing to fiction writing and so on. Lola Paprocka is an amazing photographer and part of the Lola and Pani studio, but also runs the Palm Photographic Prize and has come in to give our students talks about publishing and how their work can enter that world, especially their personal work. We have different practitioners like Niall Hodgson and Annie Lay who come in to teach different hacks about using photographic technical skills. And then finally, even creative directors and stylists like Giovanni Sharma, who will set up workshops for our students to operate in ways that they've never seen before. And that's the great thing about the course, that you'll be exposed to ways of working that you haven't traditionally thought about. So Andy Price runs a really exciting workshop in how you can think about the studio space as an opportunity for play and experimentation. And those relationships have come from a long-standing ability to tap in with some of the most exciting talents. We've had opportunities to work with Luke and Nick, who are an amazing London via Copenhagen duo, who work not just commercially, but on personal work as well, and really use the idea of collaboration as an opportunity to play and experiment and create new ideas that they can bring to industry. In the darkroom, we've had the likes of Eddie Ocher, the iconic British hip hop photographer, work with experimentation in the darkroom. So not just printing images, but thinking about different chemical processes that allow your images to take on a whole new look. Ed Carr has come in to do workshops in cyanotype animation using his own particular technique and teaching our students how they can follow suit with that in their own endeavors as well. I say this to say that all of these skills help you to think about what can happen when you have the opportunity to work on set. You might be working on set in an assistant capacity, you might be developing your own project work, but there are core skills that you may need to go on to do high level quality production. And these are the skills that you would learn on the course. And sometimes you'll be able to do that in partnership with iconic brands. And that's something that really stands out about the course, our relationship, not just to arts organizations and brands, but to different sectors of the industry. So here you're seeing an example of previous work that had been done with Peugeot in relation to the Peugeot 306. This was an opportunity for our students to produce social content as well as print-based content that would appear on GQ and channels for Peugeot as well. I always say during the course that teamwork makes the dream work. And one of the exciting things there is that our students are working in really active ways to find their own communities of creatives, finding makeup artists, hairstylists, finding models, finding sitters that participate within their works. And one of the things that we do is we encourage you to use the networks that surround you when you come to LCC. And that includes artists and other students from different types of colleges in UAL, so Central St. Martin's, London College of Fashion, and so on. Across the 3 years, you'll be taken through a journey that will teach you these skills. So in the first year, we know how frightening it can be to come to London if you've not been used to this environment. And so what we do is take you through a slow journey where you begin to grow skills that help you to connect with your fellow students, but then also to grow and to take in the environment, to build community and so on. We have units like Introduction to Commercial Photography, where you're set 2 briefs, and those briefs will be to explore the landscape around you. We have a brief called Make Uni Cool Again, which is all about working with our social media team in order to rethink what campaign imagery can look like. You'll be doing model test, which you can see here pictured with our students working in Brixton to work with modeling agencies to produce new face testing. And just to give you a flavor of what that kind of looks like, this is work produced by students from that brief, which was called Make Uni Cool Again. There's another brief called Hometown Glory, which is about the idea of working with music artists and thinking about how you can translate their experience of home into different images. Publishing and social change gives you an opportunity to develop a publication out of working from your personal work. Creator identities asks you to explore collaboration with an artist or musician or designer of some description. And then unique to us and unique to this particular course at UAR is contemporary studio practice, which is 11 weeks dedicated to the pursuit of you understanding what it means to work in the studio, working with kit like pro photo lighting, working indoors and outdoors with both forms of kit, as well as high-end cameras. And we have cameras that range from Sony A7C, so 24 megapixel cameras, all the way through to 60 megapixel cameras in both the Sony range, the Fuji range, and also with the Canon range as well. Year two will be focused very much on industry partnerships and how different types of industry partnerships can strengthen the way you think about your practice, how it can help you think about some of those expectations. These can be KPIs, these can be deadlines, they can be working to call sheets, working with a production team. How can you work alongside all of those and bring them into your practice in not a way that it restricts it, but gives you the ability to work in the kind of structure that we ask for you when you graduate? We've had amazing partnerships in the past, and right now our students are working on collaborations with Crack Magazine to produce music editorials. They're working with the National Portrait Gallery in order to rethink the ways that they can advertise the Taylor Wesson Prize, which is a well-known and prestigious photographic prize. And they're also working with the UAL Future Fashion Film Festival to produce fashion film shorts that really bend the genre and think about what's exciting within the medium of fashion film. In the past, we've been able to have the opportunity to run collaborations with the likes of Converse. And within that, we're not just creating content that feels like e-commerce, but we're really pushing the boundaries of what can be done. And you may want to pitch and produce ideas that change the way that that brand thinks about its own identity. And that's what we mean by disruption. And that's why we're really interested in new thinkers who are interested in change and changing the way that we represent both the idea of branded content, but then also the way that we use our skills in photography to do that. You'll build the confidence to be able to pitch these ideas. And so we take part in regular pitching, but we also go through the exercises of making sure that you understand what's required of a great pitch. How can you build exciting treatments and pitch decks when we bring in experts to help you with those design skills? How can you make sure that your writing and the way that you articulate yourself is in line with industry expectations as well? And we bring in people who are really good within those mediums of doing that. In year three, you'll be focused on industry readiness, and there'll be units that will take you through the idea of working towards becoming both a producer, and then a talented artist, working through your portfolio development and seeing ways in which you can curate a portfolio that really speaks to all of the talents that you've built up in the last 3 years. You'll have the opportunity to do a major project which will focus on a singular body of work, which will be your standout piece of work. But you also take part in units like creative direction and enterprise, which allow you for the first time within the 3 years to just become the producer of a body of work as opposed to the talent behind the camera. This means that you'll learn all of those valuable production skills, as well as reinforcing your ideas around being an image maker. Those production skills become key because they're the skills that help you network, find the confidence to network, to find talents that you're going to work with, and continue to build those relationships far when you graduate. They're great CV builders as well. Finally, then, at the end of the 3 years, you'll work towards having an amazing industry portfolio. And one of the things that we focus on is how that portfolio can translate across social media, websites, and print-based portfolios. Have the opportunity regularly throughout the course to meet different types of people within the industry. And the great thing is that that exposure to them throughout the 3-year process will mean that when it comes time to going out into the world, you already have relationships that you've embedded and will be able to reach out to them for work opportunities. That really gives us the core of BA photography and creative industries. It's a course that allows you to think freely, to think about your own personal tone of voice and your own identity as a photographer, and then take that into a new way of thinking. I hope to see you soon.